So do you want to tell the people what you're up to on this fine January morning?
Okay, I stacked the metal from the house back over here, and I just kind of stacked it. So now I don't know what pieces I really have.
Right.
And as you can see, you're like, it's metal, what's gonna happen to it? Well, not much, but dirt's getting all over it, which just makes it harder to handle.
Right.
And it's one step you can get away from if you don't have it out in the open. And mostly I need to see what I have, so that this spring, when I get to go back to work on the house, you know, and finish painting it, hopefully.
Right.
I have. I'm afraid to say I'll just paint it, because as you know, the whole time I got done what I got done, shit just kept breaking.
Exactly.
So, and let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you something now while I'm doing this. Or maybe not. I don't know. This is a freaking mess. It's already a mess. This is what happens when you leave your building materials outside. They get covered with yuck. See?
So where are you going to put it?
I'm going to put it underneath the carport on top of all that plywood that I got from Eric.
Right.
Because, of course, as I told you, my friends built a ginormous, God only knows what it cost, billiard and pool and arcade and bar and restaurant complex. And I got 60 pallets and a bunch of, it's really nice stuff. It's not marine plywood, but it's 3/4 inch plywood. Some of it's even full sheets that they had to get rid of because they had flaws on them. In other words, okay, so here's what happens. Builder goes, he buys a pallet and he gets a discount. He gets a discount usually because there's a couple of flawed pieces in there. Well, those flawed pieces don't mean shit to me. I'll happily use the flawed pieces. But then the building supply place doesn't have to take them back.
Right.
So they got stuck with, I think I have 3 full 4x8 sheets.
Wow.
And the rest of them are like 4x4 pieces and 2x, it's just a lot of plywood. Plus I've got all those pallets. I'm getting all kinds of wood out of those pallets, good wood. So I'm going to stack this because the plywood I won't be using till after I finish the house.
Right, right.
So I'm going to stack this in such a way that I know what pieces I have, so that I can easily find them, so when I get ready to go back to work on the house, I can. While we're here, I want to show you something that I noticed the other day. I've had this happen before. When you spray foam something behind places, it will occasionally find a hole and it'll come out for weeks. See that bubble of foam up there?
Yep.
That was not there when I finished the job.
Nope.
That has come out over the last few months.
Lovely.
And now the stuff behind it is stabilized, but I have to pull it out.
Yeah, you have to go cut it out.
Because it doesn't get as much air when you're spraying a hole full like that.
Right.
And so it doesn't dry the same way. So it finds a hole, any little hole, and it'll just seep out. So that's so that's what I'm doing. Hopefully I'm going to be able to get back to work this spring. I want to build a sound room.
Right.
God bless him, Steve Shelton gave us all the stuff that we needed to make audio books and do podcasts. But in all the shit, it's just sitting there, which is a waste. It's got to be put to use. But in order to do that, I have to build a sound room. But first I have to finish painting the house.
Right.
So the tin will go, and I'm going to use the 3/4 inch marine plywood in the sound room.
Right, right.
So it'll be after I use this, I hope. Who knows? The minute I do this, for some reason I won't be able to work on this, but I will need to work. I will be able to work on that, and I'll wind up fucking taking this shit and moving it yet again. Because you know, freaking life.
Yes, and you just love moving things.
Okay, and you know, this broken, that broken, it all costs money.
Right.
The roof cost $16,000. To fix those trees and cable them cost $1,200. To have the freaking septic tank pump cost $120. And I told you, we had that money because we saved it. But we spent it, right? And now our savings account is abysmal. And then what happened? Our Scion broke down.
So we had to buy a car.
My plan, as it always is just to keep rebuilding a car forever because it's cheaper.
Right.
Here was the problem. Remember what I said? Our savings account is gone.
Right.
When we took the Scion in, I thought it was going to need a new fuel filter. Which, most of the time you could fix that in new cars. I don't even know where it is, right? It's a new fuel filter. I find out it's behind the back seats. So no, I couldn't have fixed it. But I'm figuring $300, $500 tops. No. One of the cylinders is gone. And then they give us this, they say to us, it's not worth rebuilding because it has 300,000 miles on it. And the transmission could go next, and it's going to cost between $5,000 and $10,000. Really? Between $5,000 and $10,000? That's an extra $5,000. What's the difference? Okay, what's the difference? It's bullshit. Okay, but here's the problem. We didn't have even the $5,000.
Right.
So what had to happen? We had to buy a freaking new used car.
Yeah.
Do you know what a new used car costs right now? That freaking Kia cost us $20,000.
Yep.
We can barely make the payments on it by raising mother's rent. So we don't have any money.
So
We have even, and so this is what happened. So if we still had the money that we had when we had to put a roof on, we could have gone down and we could have made a hell of a deal on a used car.
right.
Because you have bargaining power.
When you have
Because you
cash.
have a pocket full of freaking money.
Right.
But when you don't have a pocket full of money, you wind up with $400 a month payments. So,
Yay.
what am I doing? I'm very carefully taking care of this deal because after all, I had to pay for this shit.
Right.
I'll be goddamned if I'm throwing any part of it away. You saw I took the little bitty scrawny pieces and I took them and traded them in for scrap.
Right.
Now I won't even do that. I will use every bit of it. It's the size of a can lid. I'm using it.
Why not? You use can lids.
There you go.
There you go.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm sure Lynn will go later when I have it all organized and show it to you.
I will. I will show
Until then, this is all I can do. Why? Because I have no money. Because you fuckers have not gotten enough people to watch this goddamn channel that it will monetize. And don't tell me it's because I get too political or because I cuss. I already know that.
We'll see you later. Okay, and here is where Selina put all the stuff that she picked up from the end of the book room from out that was outside, all the metal. She stacked it in here, and just within 24 hours of her moving all this, we started having crazy weather. So it's actually a couple weeks since we shot that footage. And there have been many other things that have happened that you'll see in the next video. Also, here's a stack of stuff I'm sure you'll see later. These are actually metal shingles that were thrown away at a job. Yay. So I'm sure she's going to be using those for something eventually. And this is all high and dry despite the rain, the wind, the other damage that's happened, the snow. We had inches and inches of snow, and it's all dry and doing really well.